going to move on from Barbenheimer weekend, and we'll look at a documentary that's on Netflix at the moment. So this is actually an A24 film, a documentary, which is, I thought was quite unusual for them to be behind, on Netflix, and it's called The Deepest Breath. Andy, do you want to introduce this to us?
Yeah, sure. How long can you hold your breath underwater, and how deep can you go on just one breath? Find out in this new documentary.
Freediving is one of the world's deadliest extreme sports.
It's very simple. The deepest dive wins.
You've got to swim the length of a 70-story skyscraper.
So I think this is just you and me, Andy, who've seen this one. I dare anybody to watch this and not hold their breath at the beginning during that first scene, just to see how long you last. I mean, I would last about 50 seconds with my old knackered lungs. It's a really interesting film. I mean, it's based around the sport of free diving, and I likened it at one point to Free Solo, the film about the climbing of El Capitan without a rope. And this was kind of a very similar film, but down instead of up. And I thought this was a fascinating documentary, I have to say. And I learned some things about it. Like, I've always assumed that if you go down into the sea, you have air in your lungs, so you'll float up again. But when you get down below a certain depth, I think it was 10 to 15 meters, you drop like a stone. And I couldn't work out the physics of that at all. That's what happened to Leo DiCaprio after he came off the door, right? That's where he went down. Like, he clearly went down a bit.
Diving.
He was free diving. He kept on going. But I found that a fascinating thing. Again, I likened it to a documentary from last year called Fire of Love, about two volcanologists, effectively a couple following a passion. And similarly, this film is about two young people whose passion is freediving and their kind of quest to beat world records and how it actually unfolds. I mean, I won't say any spoilers here. There's almost like a drumbeat of dread throughout the movie as the documentary kind of unfolds as to what's going on as they go around these different competitions and think, well, what is going to happen here? And it's all focused on this Italian girl who is trying to beat the world record. And you think, oh God, and it shows her father kind of watching the live feeds as she's doing these dives. And you think, oh God, what's going to happen? So it's actually a brilliant kind of documentary as it kind of progresses. Would you agree, Andy?
I would have thought this was edge of your seat stuff, actually, Bob. I was riveted to the screen. So again, just to explain for anybody who hasn't quite got the idea, we have a diver in the sea. They're allowed to take one breath and then they go down and see how far down they can go. And that's measured by tags on a rope, which is weighted. So they're going down and down and down on one breath. And there are other divers in the sea with oxygen tanks, but they are not allowed to help them. They're not only in the most dire situation they're allowed to come to their aid, and they are checking that the diver is not taking any more breaths. It's just one breath. They're going down 100 meters and looking for world records. And I was on the edge of my seat. I was perspiring. I was worried. I was concerned. As Bob says, we're not going to give away any spoilers, but it doesn't always go smoothly. It doesn't always, I think we can say that much. This is mainly off Egypt, where the sea seems to be so beautiful. So the underwater photography is stunning. I mean, I wished I'd seen it on a big screen rather than on TV. But it's a fascinating documentary. I knew nothing about this at all. One of the producers is the same producer who gave us the Wham documentary last week. So two completely contrasting subjects. But seriously, folks, have a look at this, and you will just be on the edge of your seat. I thought it was terrific.
Score out of 10. I mean, it's difficult. It's always difficult.
It's always difficult documentaries. Yeah, so documentaries. It's almost as near perfect as you could get.
Yeah. And I would also give it a 9 as well. So that's Flickering Dreams score of 9.0, which makes it that definitely goes on the recommended watch, guys. But make sure you take a big deep breath before you start. That's all.